Hello. so last time I discussed maybe making some sort of push-pull variant of this baby. Now a lot has happened since then. Not so much with me, although I made gazillion membranes like these and this one, and there's one inside, and I made this ribbon kind of variants. I made ribbons that are held by the sides. A few, so about 10 or 12 of these, and tested them all. And this was the old variant with the 3mm magnets, and it holds a membrane just like the one it's in here, but made for this version. And I discovered actually that this one just measures better than my 5mm distance attempts like they use in the BNG. I might maybe just admit defeat in terms that I cannot replicate the curve the BNG is getting. There you have it. So I'm not sure what it is, but at the same time I thought, okay, I can spend more time and more materials and more frustration in getting the same as good, or well, actually the same. Might not even be as good, but it played as loud, but there's still a weird wiggle in the top end, which is, I don't know where it came from. Anyhow, then the GRS, with its general replacement speaker thingies from Parts Express, which is probably, well, Dayton is from Parts Express, and I know Sound Imports is also doing some GRS drivers, so they probably will do these as well in the Netherlands. Well, they will be more expensive here, but the price is so incredibly low. It's not worth the effort to create anything that resembles the same driver for me, because it would be more it would be cheaper to just buy one, for me even. So fuck that idea. I'm not gonna fiddle around with metal. The idea was nice to build your own, but this is not how I am gonna do it. And then I thought, wait, let's see why I even started this tweeter thing. Normally I make big things, and it was because of this mini monitor. I wanted to make a tweeter for my mini monitor, and I don't need these for my mini monitor. I had a version that worked quite well that might needed some changes just for that particular monitor. So that's what I'm gonna do. Fuck all of this and just make what I wanted to make almost a year ago, instead of drifting off and trying to make something as good or better than a driver that is rather nicely done, but has complete random performance. Maybe the newer ones are better, I don't know. I didn't see any measurements yet, but they are so dirt cheap now that it's not interesting to make anything similar, to be honest. The kind of Parts Express is destroying, like, well, first of all, BNG, I think it's by now is dead, but especially now, they're most certainly dead. So everything you will buy will be this Parts Express driver, I guess. I think, what is it? Danny from, what is it? I forgot the name. But he sold for a long time these drivers for $85. The replica Chinese drivers. Everyone thinks he designed them or something, but I'm pretty sure they're off-the-shelf Chinese drivers. Don't pin me down on that, but it's just the Captain version of a Neo 3, and you have to put in something to damp here yourself. So if it were your drivers, you could ask, could you add some felt before you glue on the membrane? That was most certainly apparently not possible, so it's not his drivers. It looks like it, but 85 euros also, you know, and now they're being sold for 25. That's a nice profit, at least for as long as it lasted. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna make the tweeter I wanted to make, or did make, but I changed some stuff. It's gonna be single-ended instead of push-pull. Why? Well, I'm making a tweeter for a driver that is not very efficient. It's a monitor. I mean, you cannot expect it to go down to 50 Hertz or something, while it is a 5-inch driver and have a lot of output. So there is no need for a very efficient tweeter. The only thing I decided is it's gonna be a rather biggish tweeter, because, well, if they're bigger, the distortion goes down. Of course, also downsides, dispersion will not be as great as a small tweeter. But anyhow, that's what I wanted to make, and I'm gonna remake the tweeter. And I looked at the cabinet, especially the baffle as well. I'm gonna remake that one as well, because although I designed the baffle to have no sides the same from middle of the tweeter to the sides, it gives you a rather nice flat result on axis, but it will fuck up if you go either left or right, because these sides are not the same. You cannot like use EQ to get rid of any imperfection, because the sides are not the same. So in the end, it might be useful if you want to use EQ to get rid of a hump, that the sides are the same. So I've learned a lot. I've been hanging around in the Scientific Audio Review forum, and those people know all about measurements far more than I do. That's maybe from, well, I guess as well from speaker building. I'm pretty sure they do. But yeah, it's really I learn a lot there. Anyhow, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to this old kind of design. It's not looking like the first. Maybe I got the first one somewhere. They look quite crude, I must say. Here maybe? No, I don't even have a version that is the first version. That's weird. Oh well. Every now and then I clean those up and get my magnets back, because I don't have endless magnets. But the idea is as follows. I push in the magnets here, just a friction fit. This is gonna be the spacing membrane to magnets. It's gonna be 0.5 millimeter, because the surface area is rather biggish, and they're gonna be crossed at 1200 or something. I'll think I'll be fine. So it's gonna be something like grabbing a piece of metal, putting this here, dumping this on top, and then put in the magnets. Then they all have the same spacing. Another thing is, if I want to make multiple of these, I want it to be able to be plotted. And the reason is, it's easy, it's clean, there's no acid, there's no nothing. So I want a plotted membrane if possible. The only downside is the only sticky aluminium I can find is 30 micron. I wish I had something like 15 micron. That would be really awesome. If you know where to find it or something, please let me know. Or if maybe someone can make it, I don't know. But 30 is workable, but I rather have thinner as well, so I could do much more. So this is the coil. It's a rather interesting coil, I think, this time. So it's bigger here, the tracks, to save on impedance. So low resistance here and here and here, and less low in the middle, just to make sure that most of the impedance is used in the magnetic field instead of making turns, because the way I make this tweeter has a lot of turns. I know it's not the most efficient method. I mean, here we only have 3 turns. There we have much more, so we waste some of the power. And that's the way it is. In my case, it has also another benefit, but it's that the connectors are on the side. So if you got 2 of these, you can place them rather close together if you would like to make a line thingy. Although it's possible, all the push-pull tweeters have a rather big rising curve. These have slightly less, and that is on purpose, because if I use it in the monitor, there's hardly anything I need to do to have a flat response. If I used this one, I have to use EQ or whatever to make that a flat response. So anyhow, this is what I'm gonna build, and hope you like it. Hope you will follow the mini monitor version 2, although version 1 never was completed as of many of my projects. But so I'm gonna change the baffle, gonna change the tweeter, and if someone has good ideas about a 5-inch driver that performs better than the Dayton DS135, please let me know. I was thinking about SB Acoustics, this plastic driver. Sounds really terrible, but it is, it is cheap and performs down low. Or the Dayton RS, but there's not much low in these RS drivers. At least in the 5-inch. They look really nice, aluminium basket, etc. Very, very nice drivers, but I don't think there's gonna be any low end to be able to have a monitor that has some low end. The SB Acoustics also don't measure all that nice, but they are more efficient, and if you get rid of the 500 Hertz thingy, which I have to do anyways because of the baffle, I think they could be used to play rather lowish and rather flat. But yeah, not at 98 dB or something. I mean, it's gonna be a small monitor, as I've said gazillion times, I think. But and maybe I can make a project out of that. Who knows? I mean, that's more feasible than trying to make something that is resembling or maybe slightly better or maybe slightly worse than a driver that can be bought by now for $26 or something, or maybe slightly less, more. There's no reason why I should do that. So I decided to not do that anymore and not waste any more of my time, although I like to waste my time. But it became a bit frustrating as well, because I could not get the same result. Yeah, defeat. So, but yeah, if you switch a project, you're full of hope again. So that's what I'm gonna do. See you around. Bye bye.